Hey music fans and musicians, this is Ari Koinuma for arikoinuma.com, and today I wanted to share with you my thoughts on the Beatles classic Come Together and figure out why the song is so impactful and powerful. What went into making this music as powerful as it is, to see, what we can learn from it. So the first point that I want to convey is that often we focus on things like songwriting or the performance, like how good the singer is or how great the production might be, that sort of thing. But one overlooked aspect of music making that has a tremendous power is arrangements. Arrangements is all about what instruments play when, that sort of thing. And in this case, it has a power to take an okay song into something really extraordinary. So to demonstrate, I will play the first verse for you just on my guitar. I think this is kind of how John Lennon would probably have brought the song in when he first presented the song to the band, based on what he ends up playing in the recording. So here goes. You come on flat top, he come, grew me up slowly, he got juju eyeball, he won, holy roller, he got hair down to his knees. Got to be a joker, he just do what he please. So on its own, it's a pretty good song. It's fairly traditional. It has that sort of a blues rock kind of boogie woogie kind of vibe to it. Nothing really extraordinary. It just doesn't blow you away. It's a pretty good song, right? But then he presented to Paul and Ringo, very, very creative and inventive rhythm section, and you hear what they did to the song. So next I want to play you what Ringo did. Just his parts by himself, so that you can hear, what that part is doing just by itself. Okay, so that's it's not a complicated drum part, and in fact it's that simple. He's just playing one drum at a time. It's just kind of a crazy, unconventional drum riff, but you hear it and then you recognize it right away. And when you combine it with what Paul is doing on his bass, it complements each other really nicely. Although it's still like wow, that's really weird. So this is a case of the experimental side of the Beatles really working to give a song a unique twist. And this kind of thing is, it doesn't really happen at the songwriting level. It's just more about the arrangement level. You take somebody else's song, the raw material, and then you cook it with ingredients, and that's what you do in the arrangements. And it really provided a huge lift, huge difference in terms of making this song more impactful and memorable. And the second point I want to make related to that is that when a rhythm section does something hooky or inventive or memorable, that has a lot of power, because rhythm is the foundation of the song or the music. And when the foundation is doing something interesting, the layers on top of it doesn't have to really do a lot to make the song really memorable or powerful. So this is a scenario where the drums and the bass just did something really just fascinating beneath a fairly ordinary sort of a melody and the rhythm guitar part, to really just again add interest to the music. So rhythm section has just tremendous power, and I think it's sometimes overlooked in terms of what it can do to music. Alright, next I'm going to play you the bass riff, the opening one that Paul plays. It's on a guitar. It sounds something like this. Alright, so what you notice about that riff is how simple it is. There are like 6 notes in per measure, and it's just very, very, very simple. But it frames the harmony, and it frames the groove, and it really just sort of hits all the right spots, and it just leaves the rest. Now, if I was a musician, arranging this song, and I wanted to be more creative or playful, I might do something like this. So, I could just create more sort of variations to that, or just add more notes, and we, the musicians, might think, oh, that's more interesting to play, more interesting to listen to. Well, there is value I learned from analyzing this song, that in just keeping notes to absolute minimum, leave space in between, and don't get too cocky and creative. Just leave it good enough as it is, and just repeat it, and that really has a lot more sort of a memorability. I don't know if that's the word, but impressionability, or just the ability to stick to the listener's ears or the mind, to their memory, when you do that. And that's just a study of the economy and efficiency in Paul's playing. And that kind of approach, understated approach, is evident throughout this song. If you listen to like the lead guitar parts later in the song, there's just absolutely no wasted, no unnecessary notes anywhere in this song. And then when you reduce the number of notes down to the bare minimum and essential, that can have the impact of just removing the clutter and making the distilled, impactful music at its essence. And that is an awesome thing. Okay, so going further on this arrangement possibilities, as you notice, so that's what Paul plays on his bass throughout the verse part, and then John's doing the boogie woogie part, and then Ringo is doing his crazy simple riff on his drum. So like during the verse, like nobody's playing the same thing, or nobody's like doubling up or supporting each other. They're just kind of all scattered doing their own thing. And then when the chorus comes though, then like everybody kind of come together and play the same beat. And that, you notice how that sort of matches the theme of the music, which is come together. And when he says come together, all of a sudden the band starts going, just playing the same thing. And that is just an awesome implementation of the same concept, lyrical theme that is applied in the music. And when that line arrives with all the Southern band playing together, then again it just all of a sudden puts everything into the focus there. Alright, next I'm going to play a bit of the chorus melody on the guitar. It goes something like this. So I don't know if the words came or the music came first, but when you think about the phrase "come together," just say that, "come together," right? Like as if you're saying somebody, "Hey, come together," right? Just the natural flow of the English language or English phrase "come together," and notice where the strong syllable is, "come together," right? And then match that with the melody. And you notice that how that line just honors the natural rhythm and up and down of the language. He sings, "Come together right now," right? So it just when the words and music just marry so well with each other, it just has this strong sort of again, sense of coming together, and it just makes a strong impression. When the words rhythm is mangled a little bit, which is a valid thing to do in popular music, but the words don't ring out quite so clearly, and it just sort of muddies the impression, which can be good in some situation, but in this case the chorus just just comes out strongly, because that's how we say that phrase, and that's how the music goes, come together, right? And that's why with all the chaos and sort of ambiguity of parts not really playing together during the verse, and then all of a sudden it comes together, and then this phrase sort of pops up, and then that's the moment of arrival in this song. And when you hear it once, it just sticks to your head and makes this a really impactful song. Alright, so we looked at a handful of factors that we could observe in this song, and why it come together is such a interesting and memorable song. And that in this case, the arrangements and the rhythm section and the simplicity and all these things again come together to make a masterpiece and a #1 hit in their catalog. But if it was not for their creativity and originality and imagination that went into putting this recording together, it wouldn't have been it couldn't have been what it ended up being. So that's something that we can appreciate about this music, and if you're a musician, you can take something away from that for our own music making. Alright, thanks again for checking me out, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.